Hello, Malcolm. I'm so excited to be talking with you today because we are going to be talking about this highly visible mirror world pickup artist community that I only just
Yeah, you tried to get me
learned
to guess
about.
this morning, and I can't guess what you're talking about.
Yeah,
When I
so just imagine, just maybe if I describe it a little more, it'll hit you and you'll guess it. Imagine there's this culture where pickup artists are widely seen and recognized in public. It's so aggressive that there are literally signs banning them in certain places. They are not ideological and they're not against feminism.
is it
I kind
MLMs?
of
Are you
picture
talking about MLMs?
MLMs.
Yeah, multi-level marketing schemes.
No, dude, I'm talking about guys trying to pick girls up. Like picture what was his name? Johnny Bravo. Picture Johnny Bravo. Like basically it's
Okay.
just a bunch of Johnny Bravos going after women in highly urban spaces. Okay, give me some guesses. Where do you think this is happening?
Is this
Where are these?
happening in, like, yoga classes or, like,
No,
jazzercise or
like what country this is happening in? This
Oh,
is
it's
is
happening in a
specific to a
country.
nationality. Yes. Yes, there's a word for them.
This seems like something I would expect from Italians
I
or
thought you'd guess that.
Brazilians.
No. No, they're more aggressive than
Italians? Nobody's
yeah.
more aggressive than Italians. Spanish?
No.
Okay. It's not gonna be in Northern Europe.
No, it's
Okay,
not gonna
okay.
be in Northern Europe.
Is it in Africa somewhere?
No.
Is it in
That's
East
what
Asia?
it is in East Asia.
It's a Japanese thing?
Yes! Yes! Well done. Like, guess
Wait,
number 8.
seriously?
Yes, they are called Nanpa. This type of flirtation, it's from this Japanese slang word known as Nanpa suru for men, and there's actually, like, a female version called Gyaku Nansuru, which literally means, like, reverse Nanpa, like red pill, but reverse or something. And in Japanese slang, Nanpa means seducer. Not like that's not the definition, but it's the slang connotation. And then suru refers to the action of picking up women. So it's basically a seducer picking up women. Like, and it's just a known thing.
What the
And
heck is this? This is
I know, I
crazy.
know, I know. It's been around for, but here's the thing, it's not even new because I was like, I've never heard of this before. I visited Japan, though admittedly it was in like when I visited Japan the most, it was before 2006. It's been around, gosh, since like certainly even when I was in Japan, technically it was around, but it peaked in 2016 in terms of like search volume in Google Trends. And I'll just send you a little like YouTube short to kind of give you an understanding of what the aesthetics look
Well,
like.
they wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work.
He keeps following her, even to the ticket gate. In Japan, this type of street interaction is called Nanpa. Most of the time, it involves guys looking for a quick, casual connection similar to swiping on a dating app in real life. In fact, people often view Nanpa the same way they view dating apps. In busy nightlife areas like Shinjuku, it's common to see guys trying to approach women every few steps.
I mean, here, just take a look.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah, just see.
So they dress like normal guys,
Yeah,
like, and they just walk up. Yeah, they're not like peacocking or anything. They just walk up and chat people up. Which, I mean, what else are you supposed to do in a modern world to meet people? Like,
that's kind of the thing. So what they do is they approach women. These Japanese men approach women in busy urban spots, like in Shibuya, Shinjuku. And they initiate conversation with compliments or smooth talk or flattery or direct request for phone numbers. Like they're just like really like Johnny Bravo. I'm just like
yeah,
picturing Johnny Bravo, but without the swagger. Because as you can see from the video I gave you, this is like super normal looking dudes. They're not like, huh, huh. They're like just not even peacocking. It's so strange. So like things that they say like, oh, do you want to go to karaoke? That's really common. Do you want to get a drink? Do you want to
I
see
used
my
to do this
dog
though.
at home? Yeah. No,
At,
you
at,
did.
at malls, I made
Yeah.
a like when I was younger, and I even suggest other people do this is so that they can learn to walk up and talk to strangers. I mean, maybe you don't need to do this for the next generation, but you need to do in my generation is
For these
build.
no, they're doing it. It's high throughput. They'll just sit there and hammer all night. And sometimes they do it in groups, kind of like for just like they know they're all out there doing it. I've seen some footage. Like the first time I learned about this, I saw a YouTuber was just filming around a subway station in Shibuya where just like you could see just like all around guys were doing it. You know, it was kind of like when Greenpeace, the environmental nonprofit, was super active and they'd like have a team come out and just start.
What I love is Japan figures out the red pill And then they turn it into like this industrialized process where you just go anywhere and it's like red pillars everywhere you go.
Yeah, but what's different between Nanpa and the red pill is it's like red pill and manosphere stuff is really under the surface. When you and I bring it up to the vast majority of journalists who visit our house, or just like normal like parents of our kids' classmates and stuff, they've
You're
never
so
heard of
red
this
pill.
stuff.
The other episode, we were doing an episode recently, and I forgot caught carousel, and Simone remembered it, and I was
How
like,
can you
my
forget,
wife is
Malcolm?
more red pill than me, right?
Well,
How
no, but like also I was super into the red pill up until maybe like 2018 or 2017, and then we were so flooded by work that I just stopped doing fun stuff
Yeah.
for a while.
Well,
But
it
like,
sort of disappeared.
yeah, well, I don't know. I think it has evolved, but this like Nanpa is way more visible. Like everyone knows in Japan what Nanpa is. Whereas if you and I mention the red pill or MGTOW or even pickup artistry to the vast majority of people, they're going to have no idea what we're talking about. So I think that that's a really big difference. And even it again to the point where there are like literal signs in some areas where this has become so much of a problem that are like, don't like no Nanpa, like don't do it. Like this is not allowed. So it's just kind of like comically understood. It's like, oh, it's kind of annoying, but you know, it just happens. It's normal. They don't have any special jargon. Speaking, by the way, of like this,
They
you know,
don't.
cock carousel, dread game, thought. They don't have special
Are
words.
they? And you said that they're like pro-feminist or something?
They're not pro-feminist, but they're not anti-feminist. They're not ideological, which is also so interesting to me that they're just like you in high school/college, just like, okay, well, I guess the way I find a woman is I just go out there and repeated blunt force it, you know, just like really go for it.
That
It's
is
really,
fascinating.
in fact, it's I think more to your kind of culture with dating when you were younger. It's more about opportunistic, playful, or youthful, like girl hunting. You know, it's like it doesn't use negging, it doesn't use dark triad traits, it doesn't use a dread game. Like there's no trying to manipulate women in some Machiavellian way.
Yeah.
And there's no peacocking, as you can see from the video footage. It is like super normal guys just being like, hey, how's it going? It's like very you in how you did it. You know, you're not messing with people. You're being honest and transparent and just asking if they want to hang out. And if they don't, then you move on. And I think this is really meaningful and interesting to explore and important to explore, because I think this is what you get when you don't get functional institutions that help people meet
Yeah,
partners.
I think you're so right that this is indicative of no functional institutions for finding a partner in modern
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
Because we went to this like, oh, just date, but you can't date in Japan in the way you can in the US. You
Yeah.
can't like date in high school in the same ways. It's very hard in places like Japanese and Korea.
Yeah, the way it was described to me by people who had spent some of their youth in Japan or had Japanese friends was like, if you're interested in someone in school, like high school, like I'm a girl and Malcolm's in my class and I have a crush on him. Well, then I have to tell my friend that I have a crush on Malcolm, and then my friend will talk with your friend Malcolm about how I have a crush, and then like that friend will talk to you, and there's like all this back channeling, like my people will talk with your people, and then maybe eventually like we'll hang out as a group. It's one of those things where, you know how like when you're in high school, it's the United States, they're like, man, if you like look at someone the wrong way, you'll get pregnant, like, and then your life will be ruined. And you just like you have this assumption that like you're gonna get pregnant so easily. And then when you're actually trying to get pregnant, you're like, how does this even happen? Like this seems statistically
But
impossible.
I mean, I think it's so interesting because we've also had this in the West to an extent, which is to say, you know, we used to have like basically arranged marriages, right? Or like you'd meet
Yeah.
people in your town as a kid, and that's
Yeah.
who you married, right? And all that it was if you're not engaged by the end of high school, you effed up. Like that was true
Yeah.
in like the 1970s.
Well, but also like so I think first there was much more church and family involvement in dating, or you lived in a really small constrained rural area and therefore you kind of met
we
your
removed
husband
all
or
that.
wife really early. But then in the era of propaganda, from the 40s through the 60s, the US government seems to have created a like systematic support for dating propaganda that taught young men and women how to date. And there was a normative culture created. This is what it means to ask someone out. This is what it means to be a good boyfriend or girlfriend. this is what it means to go steady versus to just be dating, which is what happened a lot. Like when you were dating someone in high school, there wasn't an immediate expectation of exclusivity. You were only exclusive after you decided to go steady. Then often when men would like go off to war, they'd be like, well, we shouldn't be going steady anymore because you should be able to have fun. Like there were all these really normative examples that all fell apart. And then, yeah, what institutions did we have left? But it was worse in Japan.
Yeah, because they were like fully arranged marriages to like then adopting the Western standard of love marriages without any structure for what dating culture would look like.
Yeah. And so like basically the way, from what I can tell in the stats, the way people have formed relationships in Japan have gotten very awkward and also shifted a lot. So there isn't any cohesive understanding of this is how I get a partner. So general stats on Japanese relationship formation, they show a clear generational and technological shift, which makes sense. We've seen that basically everywhere. With dating apps and structured social activities, which is not something you have so much in the US, but more in China, as we discussed in our recent episode on Chinese men rejecting Chinese women, they're overtaking traditional friend-based introductions, which is kind of what I alluded to. Like the whole high school example that I gave, I think is more an offshooting of traditional relationship formation methods that happened in Japan, which would have made sense and worked well in a more cohesive and stagnant, or I should say, less transient community where people like grew up in a farming community and stayed there. Like then, back channeling into your relationship probably worked because people weren't so mobile, and now it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, so that and workplace romances were also really big. So approximately 24% of Japanese people meet their partners on dating apps, which is a lot, but not that many. About 31.2% of married couples overall first met as coworkers. So this is really indicative of like where Japanese people are interacting with other people. Most of them, so 24%, like a quarter, are meeting on dating apps, like I guess most normal people do these days when they're actually looking, but like a third of them are just meeting at the office. Because I think
third of Japanese people who marry.
Yeah, well, 31.2. So shy of a third, but still.
I've seen what is that show? Naruto, Nagito. The one about the office panda who's dating, and it's the Japanese show.
Oh yeah, no, the heavy metal panda, right?
Yeah.
Or like death metal.
Guys at the office and stuff like that.
But that, I mean, if that's big, it's bigger than the 23.6% of couples that they credit mutual friends or social gatherings for introducing them. And then 12.5 met through educational settings. So they like met in college and university, and maybe they reconnected after and were like, okay, let's do this. But around half of people in their 30s, they met at matchmaking parties or events. And then half of people in their 40s met on group dates called gokon. And those were group dates where like a whole bunch of single people would kind of go out all together, which I think it makes sense for a more collectivist society, right? Like instead of going on a dating app and doing this one-on-one thing and have it being highly individualistic and selective, you have a bunch of people hanging out together, and maybe if there's some chemistry or a match, things kind of come together. But none of these things, like when I think about it, none of them are, they don't really work in a modern society. So what is the government going to do about it? Because I really think that what you're seeing with Nanpa is the symptom of a disease. They are the oozing pustule of like a body that is deeply sick and that needs help.
I disagree. I don't think there's anything wrong with what they're doing. There is no other way to meet women in their society. And so they are attempting, they wouldn't be doing this if it didn't sometimes work.
Yeah, but keep in mind, like relationships we're not seeing 20 plus relationships or even 16 plus% emerging from this. They're coming from group dates, the workplace, dating apps, or school. They're not coming from this. This is not leading to successful relationship formation. Maybe it's leading to hookups.
It does. I guarantee you it does. Or they wouldn't be doing it, and they wouldn't be doing it for this long.
I think it may work for hookups. I don't, honestly, here's what I would actually imagine. Because as you know, the sex trade in Japan is alive and well. I think what happens is women who just happen to be in the sex trade and are finishing a commute or like getting back from visiting a friend's house, see one of these guys and they're like, hey, do you want to go? And you're like, listen, $200. Like, you're fine. You know, like, I'll do this. I could pick up some extra cash. And then they think they're successful because they kept trying. And
I disagree. I almost guarantee you this is working. Look, you're talking about a niche subcommunity and you're like, why aren't these in the mainstream statistics? Look, I understand that it may seem like it's really out there because if you have like 1 or 2% of the population trying something like this, it's going to seem like part of your everyday life. But like, it's not surprising that you're not. I actually support this and this community, and I think it's working. And I think it's probably one of the only ways to find a partner in Japan.
I do have respect for people having the balls to go out and do this. Absolutely. But I also think that if they had better institutions, they wouldn't be going out and doing this. Like, also, if your high school and college environment had basically better dating infrastructure, you wouldn't be going out and doing this because you'd be using those things instead. So let's talk about the dating infrastructure that Japan is trying to build. And we talked about this in another episode, actually, but I think this was maybe before it was completed. But the Tokyo metropolitan government has since, at least, officially launched the Tokyo Enmusubi matchmaking app. They launched it in late 2014. It's now there. It's out. I thought they were never going to get it done, honestly. So it's broadly available to adults living, working, or studying in Tokyo who are over age 18. And the app uses AI, kind of like Keeper AI, who knows, to pair users based on a values diagnostics test. It requires proof of single status, so you don't have like catfishers on it. There's a rigorous sign-up process that focuses on marriage-minded individuals rather than casual dating. And I mean, it's out there. I couldn't find good stats on its usage, but that's one thing the government is trying. Other things that are happening, a lot of prefectural and municipal governments are now operating their own online marriage support systems. So these require identity verification. You have to submit personal data, and it uses algorithms to produce comparable matches. So they're like going full into AI dating, which I really like. There's one called Saitama. For example, it runs a government, or sorry, the prefecture of Saitama runs a government administered service where staff will assist with profile photos. Like they will photograph you. They will offer in-person advice.
Government is photographing, giving you the angles to make sure you look good enough.
I think that's so cool, though. Like, I mean, in a country that desperately needs this, it makes sense that, you know, you can go to talk to someone about social services, and you can also go to talk to someone about like, hey, like, how do I find a partner? There's also verification collaboration with apps. Like, of course, like the T app, for example, we had this huge issue of it being leaked, and all these women who were trying to get dirt on guys they were dating are now doxxed because they had sent in, you know, their identity stuff over a very unsecure platform to, you know, verify that they were actually real women. The app still sucks. I tried. I thought maybe we could do an episode on it, but there's just not enough there because it's not a very good app, and the information on it's not very interesting. But large private dating platforms in Japan, like there's one called Tapple, they work with government data registries to verify users' unmarried status. Like they actually check for marriage certificates. And so this reduces fraud, and it makes serious relationship searchers a little bit more secure. So since they're seeing that about a quarter of people in Japan are meeting on online dating apps, they're like, okay, let's lean into this. Like, let's make the apps work better. And this is the first time I've heard of a government really trying to do that, right? Because you talk all the time about how dating apps are a big part of the problem, right? Like they're not working for A, B, and C reasons. And obviously these dating apps are not increasing switching costs for couples or for individuals, which is one of the biggest problems that you highlight. But I still like that they're thinking about it. And then there's also local governments that run matchmaking parties or events, or they even employ marriage concierges, which is really cool. So they will coach shy singles and encourage relationship formation. Whereas in the United States, you're paying like $15,000 to get something like that. So that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just in general, the government is continuing to publicize the need for unprecedented measures, as they sort of put it, to address the demographic crisis, and they invest in and encourage public-private partnerships to facilitate marriages and boost birth rates. So, I mean, what I like about this is that they're making apps, they're integrating with commercial apps, they're providing dating concierges, they're hosting events, and they're really I think they're doing a better job than most East Asian countries. So when you look at the TFR for like 2024, 2025 in Japan, it's 1.15. Obviously, that's terrible. But compare that to 2024's 0.75 or maybe 0.82 for this year in South Korea. Really worse.
Yeah.
And then the 1.01, which is also measurably worse in 2024 for China, which of course is probably very likely to be overstating their numbers. Whereas I trust Japan's numbers. There's no way I trust China's numbers. Okay. So I think that this attitude, this attempt to address the problem, maybe combined with what you're talking about, which is Nanpa really are the manifestation of an endogenous desire to get out and fix the problem. Whereas like in China, men are fleeing from women. They're not showing up to matchmaking events. They're not like, they want to get married, but they're lying flat. And in Japan, they're getting out, they're pounding the pavement, they're hanging
this is such a contrast with the China episode you did.
Yeah, they got hustle.
I love that.
This is for the nation that invented hikikomori, right? Like this is hard for people. Japanese people are not culturally aggressive and outgoing for the most part, right? Like they're not known for that.
Simone, racism.
And to be fair, like when I traveled alone in Japan, which I've done a lot, like as a young teen girl, people struck out conversations with me all the time. Probably many of them were chatting me up, but I'm too autistic to tell. So, I mean, I'm not saying this is universal. However, like I love the hustle. And I think that shows, it gives me a lot of hope about Japan. And I think we're seeing it. And in 2023, Japan registered 3.9 new marriages per 100 inhabitants. And that's, I mean, I want to say it's hopeful, but it's a return to a long-term downward trend after there was only a small short-term increase in 2019. And remember,
you got to save yourself, guys.
Yeah, Nanpa peaked in terms of a concept as search. And I looked at the term in Google Trends in katakana, not in Romanji. So we're talking about like Japanese people searching Nanpa on Google, not Westerners doing it. So, I mean, maybe this like surge of like, we can do it peaked in 2016 and maybe the little recovery of marriages, then it peaked in 2019 and now we're back down. Like maybe they're like, hey, Nanpa's not really working. Data for 2024 does, however, suggest a slight uptick in newlywed couples. There are over 10,000 more marriages than the previous year. So yes, I'm really excited about that. Still, the overall trend is decline in marriages in Japan. And I mean, we're seeing that throughout East Asia. And the average age at first marriage, unfortunately, also is continuing to climb. So, people after they get married are just going to have fewer kids, no matter what, because their fertility is going to plummet as they age. And a lot of this, I do think, is as much as we're seeing more of a can-do attitude in Japan. Social surveys show that a majority of younger Japanese adults are expressing uncertainty or pessimism about finding a lifelong partner, and a rising share of singles have never dated at all. Ooh. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I mean, what would you do? Because the Japanese government is actually trying things. What would you advise them to do?
I think a lot of this is one downstream of incentive systems to just be like, your life as an unmarried person is just going to be dramatically worse, right? Like taxes are going to be way higher. Like actually just make life harder for unmarried people, first of all, to make it a thing that you would want to do. And then two, be like, and if you say like you can't find a partner, create a government database, right? Like of single people who are open to marriage that they can check and find. That's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, go to the database.
Go to the database. I could see that. I was also thinking like, how maybe this would be better for South Korea, but like for South Korea's mandatory government service, like put in more of a dating component.
You have to date. You
make
can't
time for like, okay, it's your Friday date. Like we spoke at a class recently where one of the assignments was literally go on a date. And like,
oh my God, what a class.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so based. And do a write-up about it. So you can, I'm sure a lot of people are going to make it up though. If we're being honest, I'm like, I think 80% of the dates are going to be fabricated and written up by, yeah.
I hope not. I hope to get out there and date.
Honestly, like the class did seem really well adjusted. But I think that's because this is North Carolina we're talking about. This is the American South. There's still some sanity left. But I think building dating into compulsory military service, if you have it, like in South Korea, would be really great. I also, in a country like Japan, I don't know if this would work if we brought it back to the United States, but as you know, I am obsessed with those 1950s cornet film, here's how to date, here's how to go steady videos. And I feel like introducing for the first time literal dating propaganda and lessons and new norms into Japanese high schools could create new effective institutions helping people learn how to find partners. And the rise of Nanpa makes me believe that is possible, because clearly there was some meme that spread online in Japanese communities of because these guys are doing this in groups too. This is not like some I guess this is how I got to do it now. They're obviously talking about it. They may not have lingo, they may not be political, they may not be ideological, but they're talking about it. And it's a meme, and it's something that people tried out. It was an experiment. It saw its peak in 2016. Maybe it's going to continue to decline. But I think that if instead some new norms were introduced in high school of now's your time to date, or college is the best time to find a partner, learn how to date in high school, here's what dating is like. And then even subsidizing cute date spots. You pointed out how in South Korea, there's all these restaurants that are basically just for dating, and they're super cute. And
but they only serve meals to couples.
So
this is the thing in South Korea, only couple dishes.
Yeah, and I don't know, just supporting those industries and being
there's
hey,
also restaurants in Korea and a lot that will not serve to anyone who has kids.
Oh, so. I really want to. I have on my backlog to do an episode on kid-free spaces. Chime in the comments if you actually want me to follow through on that. But yeah, I feel like maybe just building that new propaganda in a collectivist culture could work. I don't think it will work in the United States if we were to bring that back, but I do think it could work in Japan. So that's another thing I might do. But I don't know. I love that Japan is, and I think this is because we keep wondering, why is Japan doing better? I don't think it's just because Shinzo Abe was have kids. I'm not joking. And he went and changed proactively a lot of the way that Japan's social services are set up to try to begin the transition in preparation for demographic collapse and fertility ratio cascades or dependency ratio cascades. But I think there is more of an attitude. There is more of a let's try. I hadn't heard of this before. It kind of blew my mind.
I hadn't heard of it either. This is really cool. Thank you for sharing it with me and our audience. And you always find the most interesting things in the world because you are an amazing wife. And we will try to get our fans to try bulky. How's this pronounced?
Yeah, what is it?
Right.
I've never seen this before. You were remember when we had it? We did not have it. We had egg crust, hot pot. That is, but you need a specialized thing for that. So it is called buldak.
Korean fire rice. And we're making it the way where you got the rice cakes and everything too.
Yeah, it almost looks like a pizza in a cast iron skillet. So it looks like just chicken buried under cheese.
It's supposed to be a very spicy dish, if done right.
Well, but I mean, yeah, because we put in gochujang sauce, which is a little.
Gochujang is not spicy, so I don't see where they think the spice.
Yeah, it says today's recipe is super spicy chicken called buldak in Korean. The Korean word bul means fire and dak means chicken, so it's fire chicken. Oh my gosh. Just like you call the power mop a water vacuum. Fire chicken and water vacuums. Yeah, so yeah, where's the
spice coming? Go down that
Where's the spice? Okay, ingredients. 2 pounds of chicken breast cut into cubes, Korean hot pepper flakes. And we're just going to use Sichuan pepper flakes.
Yeah.
So I guess it's Korean hot
actually, I wouldn't
flakes.
even use Sichuan pepper flakes. Just use Thai chilies.
Oh, and it says, well, this recipe, not the one I pulled up on Perplexity when we were shopping, calls for 2 to 3 tablespoons of hot pepper paste. What is that? I think they mean gochujang sauce.
Oh.
Yeah, no, they clearly Why don't they call it gochujang sauce? I guess because we're too white to understand that, to be able to shop for it. Everyone on social media calls it gochujang sauce. What's
Not
wrong with
exactly
you?
secret.
Okay, so 2 to 3, so it's basically hot pepper flakes and gochujang sauce.
I don't use the hot pepper flakes. Use fresh peppers. Okay, fresh peppers is always
Yeah,
better.
no, we're gonna do the Thai chili tiny peppers. And 1 cup of sliced rice cake. Oh, and they actually okay, yeah, they mean to. How do you even pronounce that?
Yeah, they're using a slightly different type of rice cake than we're using, but it should be fine.
Tiu Q Kyung Tiok. Oh my god, I'm worse than you at pronouncing things. I just don't put myself out there like you do. You just own it. There's this like Texan, like I'm okay with butchering it because I'm a Texan and we butcher. That's what we do.
Yes.
We butcher the cattle, we butcher the foreign words. Don't you dare put them in my mouth.
I don't want those foreign words in my mouth. I want people to know. I want people to be afraid of coming to me with a foreign sounding name.
But yeah, man, it's like it's those, and then throw a bunch of mozzarella cheese on top. Fire chicken. But I guess, the interesting thing about it is the cheese is going to cut the spiciness.
No, so the reason why I wanted the rice cakes is the rice cakes really help with the spiciness. If you don't have the rice cakes, it's too spicy.
Right. But I mean, dairy also is the one thing known to neutralize the effects of capsaicin.
Oh, yes, so true.
So, and then you put it in the oven, and I'll make pizza for the kids since we're heating up the oven. Great. My life is planned out now.
You are amazing, Simone. Thank you for another wonderful day. And
thank you.
I will try to make the Not Safe for Work story generator better for our website.
Thank you. You will make the world a little pervier, and I don't know I will try to get the kitchen clean. I spent the entire weekend cleaning, and it looks like there's been a rager down there. Like our kids, how like, have you seen those like terrifying ants that like will rove over like a dead animal and all that's left is like a skeleton? Yeah. I feel like everywhere our kids go, like it's like a neat clean room that I've just wet mopped and like dusted and tidied, and just like they leave behind a college rager. They like produce beer cans, I don't know how, but they do anyway. Like it's just like vomit, urine.
Rager.
Remember the ossified poop turd that we found in Titan's gemstone treasure box? Yeah. Great. Well, anyway, girding my loins. I love you, Malcolm.
Love you too. So bulgogi, if you people are unfamiliar, is one of my favorite Korean dishes. I'll try to take a picture of it at dinner tonight, see if it comes out well.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, I'm doing these while Torsten's getting his ABA therapy, and Titan and Octavian and Industry are all ceaselessly harassing me, and I'm bathing them and getting them their dinners. So please hang in there. It may not be Michelin star. I'm going to do my darndest, Malcolm, I promise.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I'm keen to see if you guess this. Okay.
No, why does Titan have to fight us?
Because why can't you take a picture of me?
Toasty, I'm trying.
Torsten, she's trying to help your sister. What do you, Torsten? Torsten, no. What do you think mommy is doing?
How do you think that makes me feel, buddy?
But you're trying to trick us.
In what way?
Get you dressed and warm for outside, buddy.
Oh.
Why would you do this?
Excuse me.
I don't think that's trying to trick you.
Take a picture.
You look great, buddy.
How cool I look.
Yeah, you look very
Now
cool.
I'm going to swipe your hair to the side, Octavia. You're going to look like a doofus if you wear it. Yes, you will, buddy.
Hello.
Torsten, what is the trick that you think that we're playing on you?
I mean, the trick that you're playing on us is putting evil socks on us and putting evil shirts on us.
But these are just regular shorts and socks that you need for like life, Torsten.